When training, when should you rest? When should you rest during your workout, like mid-set? That's the question for today. Welcome to this episode of In Between Sets. Small tidbit, some of the conversations, topics, information that my clients and I talk about throughout the session. Maybe this will help you during your workout in your life and health and fitness. So, when should you rest during an actual training session? You can rest whenever is the basic answer, but that's not really helpful. One thing that I want to encourage you to do, when you're working out, especially if it's like early on, either in a training cycle or in a training session, or like in a training cycle or in the, like you're new to working out maybe, or picking back up after a long break. One thing I want to encourage you to do, when it starts to burn, if your form is tight, keep going. When it starts to burn, it's very uncomfortable. It's very unpleasant. If you're able to maintain enough presence of mind and body to keep the form tight, so you stay safe, keep going. That's not the time to rest. That's the time to press in and get after it and get what you came here for. Get what you came to the gym for. Now, a time to rest is if you're going through and your form starts to break down. For example, my last client, we're doing bench press. We're doing lat pull downs after bench press. And the cue was squeeze your shoulder blades back and slide them down simultaneously at the same time. And so we're going through, I think the rep range, we're shooting for, 10 to 12 repetitions. At about rep 6 or 7, I noticed that the scaps were together, but they weren't depressing as well. And so I stopped, or I slowed down, or I said, hey, just rest for a minute. Questions, hey, why do I have to rest? It's like, okay, can you feel your scaps depressing? In other words, is your form still where we want it? And so we went on to the next set. On the next set, without my cue, my client rested and was able to notice when the scaps were not working, the form wasn't as tight as it needed to be. That's the time you can rest. Now, I'm not saying that you should never rest when you're working out, because rest in between like sets, or if something doesn't feel right, rest. But when not to rest is when it's burning but your form is tight. Man, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, okay? So when the form starts to break down and whatever you're trying to accomplish, you have to have a target of the muscle, the tissue, the movement pattern, what have you. When that starts to break down, take a break. 10 breaths, 20 breaths. Let your system kind of get enough rest to be able to get back into the tissue that you're trying to target. And that goes for every exercise, even if it's a dumbbell curl or as complicated as like a squat. Take the time, fight through the burn, because that's what you're there for if you're doing a lot of reps. But if the form starts to break down even a little bit, take your time, rest. That's it. All right, y'all have a good one. Hope that helps. See ya.